All right, and if anyone else joins, I will just add them. All right, so we're about to live stream. Then I'll introduce you. You know the drill. And we're going live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another STROLO U class. I am your host, Tiffany McDaniel, and I am joined today with Jennifer McDaniel, and she is our graphic designer, and she's going to be teaching us, well, she's going to paint, and we are going to paint something super fun, and I am super excited. Thank you, Jennifer, and it is all yours.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. And today we're going to do something different, and we're going to do something fun. We're going to do an abstract painting. And so if you have your materials ready, you could use either watercolor or acrylic paints. And your canvas could be any size, and you don't need any previous painting experience to do this painting. So let's hop on. Let's get on into it. So I'm just gonna pin my camera, and I'm gonna so this is my surface. This is watercolor paper, and we're going to be using a variety of colors. So I have my paint palette, my paints, and these are the CFLF colors, and we have this beautiful sheet of paper that we're going to fill with color. So the first thing that we want to do is to, wet our brush a little bit. We always want to have it damp, because when you have the brushes damp, it's able to absorb the color better. So I'm just gonna have that in the water. And I'm going to get my paints ready. So today we're going to be, pretty much using like the whole spectrum. And I hope everyone is doing well today. And this abstract painting that we're going to be doing is going to be spring theme. The abstraction is going to come in how we make that spring theme. So for a question for our audience is, what do you think about when you hear the word spring? Like, what comes to mind?
Ooh, flowers, bright colors, sun, lots of light.
Yeah, that's usually what people tend to think of. So what do you think that we're going to do that's going to reflect that in our painting? Right? How's you thinking?
Abstract, that's hard.
Well, we're going to make abstract easy today because it's, it kind of has this connotation of being like, really difficult to grasp, but you're really just taking those things that you just mentioned and you're expanding upon it with color. That's pretty much all abstraction doesn't have to be difficult. So what we're going to do today is like, I'm going to just give you, like your painting, it's going to be its own thing. Like yours may not exactly look like mine. You may want to add things, you might want to take away things, but in the end, it's going to be your painting. So we're going to take those ideas of spring, the bright colors, all that beauty, and we're going to make it and translate that onto our canvas. So I have this really beautiful bright green paint. And if your paint is a little darker, what you can do is that you take a little bit, you just take a little bit of your darker green, take your brush, put a little bit on the side, and then you take your yellow and mix it. And that's how you get your lighter green. So, I'm here to make art easy, make it easy for everyone so everybody can enjoy it. So let's begin. We're thinking about flowers. We're thinking about lots of sun. So one thing that I think about when I hear the word spring, I think about lots of greens, lots of pretty greens. So let's begin. And I'm going to, let me get my camera back together. Yeah, using the phone is, when your phone locks out, it's just like, okay, now it's back. And I'm going to pin it. So now I'm going to take some beautiful green. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to wet it a little bit. Make it nice and smooth. When I think of green, I think of it as rising. So when you take this abstract notion, take the green and you think it's rising. So, you make it rise. And look at that. What was blank now has some color. And let's say you want to add, this green's really bright, So let's say I take my blue. I'll just take a little bit of blue. Just a little. I'm going to take a little more. And your blue doesn't have to be this dark. It could be a lighter blue. Remember, it's an abstract painting. It's what you make of it. And so I'm going to take this and I'm going to add some blue to it, And you know what? It's rising up and it almost reminds me of like a flame. But let's say I want to, clean my brush a little bit. I'm going to go into this orangey yellow. And let's say I want to, I want to make some dots, like, because I think I want to add a flower type thing. So I'm going to add, like, in this area some flowers. And you do what you feel is best, because like this is going to be your painting. And I'm going to take some blue, just this lighter blue. If you have a dark blue with a clean brush, take a little bit of your dark blue, some white, and that's how you get a lighter blue. But if you already have a lighter blue, you could just use that. So the dark blue, the white. Mix it together. Guess what I got? Lighter blue. And I'm going to make some petals. Look at that. That's pretty, right? But let's say I want some pink petals, right? Because how do you make a petal? Simple. It's just a simple shape. It's like you're almost making like a teardrop. And then you want to angle it so that, like, you know, it's almost like a sun, and you radiate around the center. Let's say I want to take a little white, go into the petals. One thing I like about abstract art is like, as long as that you're putting color and creating forms and shapes, doesn't really matter where you go with it. Because at the end of the day, what makes it what it is, it's up to you. So I'm gonna now I'm going to go. I think I want to add a little bit of some reds. So I'm gonna take my red paint. I'll clean my brush a bit. I got my red paint. I'm just going from the corner, and a little bit of red. You know, I might just come in. You know, red is like, you know, the complement of green. And you know what? I'm gonna add some yellow. I'm gonna blend it on the canvas. Now you got that bright orangey color coming in. And it's like, oh, wow, look. You see, I like what's happening right here. And let's say I want to expand on that. So let's say if I repeat it over here. And now let's say I want to fill the rest of the canvas with color. So what colors do you think that I should use? I feel like maybe let's see.
I'm really digging that orange.
Right?
Yeah, I guess like sandy kind of color.
A sandy
I
kind
don't
of
want to
color.
get dark, but like a light, really light sandy brown.
A light sandy brown. The good thing about red and green, since they are opposite colors, they make a neutral brown when you mix them. And the little more red that you have in it makes it a little more bright. And then when you add white. It gets lighter. And as you continue to lighten your color, it's like, wow, that's almost sandy, right?
Yes.
You see, when you know your color combinations, you could get a lot of things. And you could do that with blue and orange. Those are complementary. You could do that with yellow and purple. Those are complementary. And red and green are complementary. And what they do these nice little things with color and light.
Sorry, can you repeat the colors that you used real quick?
I used red and green. I mixed them together. It got me a dark brown.
Mm-hmm.
A little more red than green. And then I gradually added white. And that's how I got this brown color. I'm just going to put this camera down for a bit. I'm going to move the pin.
Got it. I got it.
Oh no, this is for myself so I can get a better grasp. I'm going to bust out my dark green. If you want to make your green darker, add blue to whatever green that you have. Don't add black because that's just gonna it messes up the color. It doesn't really make it the darker green that you want it to be. And I'm just gonna add these colors and I'm gonna blend them slightly. So it's becoming something. And the whole thing is like you want to fill your entire area with color. You want to layer it.
I see it up close.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. I got it. I'll pin it.
Okay. So as long as you fill it with color, and you try to get rid of all the unnecessary untouched areas. You surround it with beauty and you make it your own. And don't be afraid to overlap your colors. Don't be afraid. Just make sure there's like no areas where it's not like, filled with color. You don't want to see white marks. Unless you put the white there. Well, in your case with watercolor, you want to leave a little bit of area so that the water could drip. Because that's the beauty about watercolors, when you get this beautiful drippiness when the colors bleed into each other. And don't worry about erasing what you did earlier, because we're going to come back into it and we're just going to put it, right back. It's all about layering. Come in with my way. Yellow. White. You almost got that whole canvas full of color. But I'm going to continue to fill in all these spots. But I'm going to let it dry a little bit. I'm going to clean my brushes. Give me a second. Always have water ready for me anytime I need to, so I don't have to leave or anything. So I got my second thing of water for my brushes. Always be prepared. And so while this dries, and the good thing with acrylics, it dries quickly, so we don't have to really worry too much about it taking a long time. We can look at our paintings, or if you want to continue to work on it to get it to a stage where you feel like, you know what, let it rest. I'll go to show you guys a little something about nature, the environment. So this is a watercolor painting that I did early in the morning one day. And one of the things that we notice about nature is that, like, the things that we consider, like, just being green, it's a mixture of multiple colors. So it's not just, the green and, the yellow and the blue. It's all these little hints of red or brown or violet that generally, like, it's like it's such a tiny amount of it. But when you really start to observe the coolness of different colors and the warmness of different colors, you begin to see, like, oh wow, that's not just green, that's a warm green, or that's a cool green. And what we're picking up on is those little notes, those little savory bits. So when you look at your paintings, at your canvases, I want you to think, what are the little notes that you could put that would raise it to the next level? So if you're trying to make pink flowers, what makes the flower? What defines it? It's all those different hues. Like, it's not just the pink that you see overall. Because when you look at a flower, it gets darker. When you look, as the leaf, as like those petals are bunched in together, there's less light penetrating through it. So our eyes perceive that as darkness. So it becomes like a different hue. It's not pink anymore. It's like a red. So if you want to, like, really, 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 I'll just demonstrate on a separate piece of paper. A flower or a rose, it's just many different values of C curving around itself. That's all a flower is. When you break it down to the simplest shape, you know that what is defining the petal is shadow. So when you look at this from afar, add a little white, it's like it's a pink flower. But pink is just red. We define it as pink because, of the lightness of its color, which, we add white, it makes it, pink. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at it and you see up close all those bunched petals together, it's white. It's red and white. With very, very light intrigues of color entering into it. So when you do want to break this down, you break it down to its most simple shape. It's just a C. And you just go around and around and around and around like a spiral. And next thing you know, flower. And I hope everybody is, like, enjoying their time, enjoying their
I am. This is like Self-care today. So relaxing.
Yes, that's what painting should be. Should be relaxing.
I want to do another one and get another paper.
Nice. I really like your colors.
Tara.
Before
Oh,
you go
love
to your
that.
next one, I just want to pin it so people can see it.
Oh,
So
Okay.
let me and then I'm gonna pin, add pin.
I
Wow.
got it. Awesome.
Yes, that's beautiful. Yours. Wow. I really like how bright you got the yellows and that. And
thank you.
Tiffany, your flowers almost remind me of like peacock feathers.
Yes, exactly what it looks like. Oh, man. Beautiful.
And so if you want to do another one, go right ahead. Because that's the whole thing about painting. You can make as many as you want. And like I made quite a few let's say just like fun abstract paintings for myself because that's what I do when I like, get really hung up on art.
Can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I made quite a few abstract paintings. I was just looking for them because my silly self put them away. But anytime like I get hung up on art and I get like really frustrated on like, what to draw or what to paint because like, one thing about being an artist is like we always are so hard on ourselves about like, making art that we forget to have fun with it.
Mhm.
So one of the things I do is just like I just make art. Like, you make art without any expectations. And sometimes that ends up being your best piece. When you come at it with no expectations of it being anything other than, just, a painting. Like this one, for example, this is just a one color watercolor painting. I was inspired by the sky and I was just like, let me just paint. And, that's just, sometimes you just gotta, I think people get too nervous about the outcome sometimes. Or me just like, I'm just making, shapes. Like, just the shapes. This whole book is just patterns. And you can make so many patterns and then just have so many pretty colors with it. Like, when you just come at it without expecting anything and you just do it. Because I said, I want to finish a sketchbook. And I just just made the patterns. I didn't get too hung up on color combinations. I just let it happen. And that's the one thing that I want you guys to take away from this class. If anything else, this should be a relaxing class. That art should be fun. It shouldn't be a chore. It shouldn't be like a homework assignment. It should just be fun. It should just be something that is relaxing. Something as simple as like, these are just squares.
Mhm.
Like, just come at it from any angle. Now I'm going to add something to this painting. I'm just gonna start making, repetitive marks. I'm not expecting anything from it. I'm just making repetitive marks. Pattern and shapes goes hand in hand with abstraction. There's different forms of abstraction. Some are just like, it has no like, basis in our reality. It tried, that's what, like, some abstract artists try to, like, not to replicate any, like, physical form. And then you have other abstractions that are just, a little more playful with how it represents reality. I hope this one is more of the playful one. A playful representation of what we think spring is.
Abstract.
Now, if you have more than one brush, like leave a little bit of color on it, and then mix it with a lighter color. If you have a darker color, mix it with a lighter color, and just see what kind of color combination it makes. Like, lay your brush flatly and let that color just show, no matter what it is. And as it changes, you can change your stroke until it becomes something totally different. Oh, wow. I see what you did there.
And Hello, Miss Olivia. What are you making?
Oh, this is so cute.
Go ahead.
A unicorn, a cookie, and a rainbow.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
That's so nice.
How do you make purple?
Um, Purple is it's a mixture of red and blue, but it comes out a little murky. So it's better to just buy purple. But you can make a type of purple. It's not going to be as vibrant as let's see. I'm going to take my red. I'm going to take this lighter blue. When you mix a good amount of it, it's supposed to make purple, but you see, it doesn't always come out as purple. Let me add a darker blue. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. It's like it's not a pretty color. In theory, it's supposed to make purple, but like when it comes to like paints, when you add it with colors when it's like light, it doesn't it comes out as purple. But like when you add paints, it's more of a subtractive method. So the purple that is made is this really ugly looking purple. But it is purple. It's technically purple.
It's very gray.
It's very gray.
Yeah.
But it's technically purple. I have no problems with you guys coming back to it on a after this class is over, giving you some purple paint and adding your purple spots. But this color is really good for clouds when you have parts of the clouds that are like really dark. This type of color you mix with a little bit of white and you just add it into some areas, add a little blue to it. It's a really good neutral purple. But if you ever have those kid paints, them kid paint sets, and it has like the color purple in it, feel free to use it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, top of these. I think I'm happy with this painting. It's full of color, full of life. I'm gonna go back into it to get rid of a lot of these little white marks because I just want to make sure that areas right here, my teachers will go crazy. Like, no white marks. I think that's the perfectionist in me talking.
Do you ever do art with like chalk?
Oh, yes. That's also very fun.
I'd love to do that one day. That's just pretty.
It does get a little dusty. So you might want to I don't know, maybe because like I always like go like always like go I always have to take it to the next level, but
Oh yeah, I get super messy. I love it. I usually do it outside.
yeah. Also, if you wear a mask, you should be fine.
Don't mash it. You're messing with my brush. That's my brush. My brush is pretty.
Blue for mine.
Okay, make it cloud.
It's the whole picture.
Ow! Don't swing the paintbrush with paint, okay?
Wait, I'm making rain.
Go back up the laptop.
The whole picture is going to rain.
This is the beginning of my next one, Jen.
No, I just can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop.
Of course not.
Okay, I want to stop here with my pain. I said I was going to stop that and continue. Because I feel like spring should be a color explosion. I think that's what I interpreting mine as. It's a color explosion, an explosion of colors. So I want you guys to just take a step back from your paintings, no matter where you are. And I want you guys to just look at it for what it is. And I want you to say, I want you to compliment something about your painting.
I like my use of colors.
Mhm. And what's one thing that you want to see from your painting? Just looking at your own painting. Don't worry about mine. What's one thing that you want to see come out of your painting? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes you think. Those are really nice in that. And I really like your Tiffany. I see how you guys are using color. Oh, that's pretty.
Ooh, I like that one.
And you see, like, you know, you're just letting that creativity just come out.
Mhm.
And that's one thing you want to see.
I'll
You
be
want,
right back, guys. I have to answer to take this call.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
fine. And that's one thing you want to see when you're doing art. You want to, you know, look at it and be proud of it because it's what you made. It came from you. So as you look at your art and you say like, wow, know that it's like, it's something that you've done. So no matter what stage it is, whether you just started it or you're adding your final touches to it, no matter what skill level you are, as long as you are enjoying the process of making art, and it doesn't make you frustrated and angry and sad and depressed, but it's making you feel calm and relaxed, then that's what you do. You continue to add those colors, those lines, those shapes, because that's all art is at the end of the day. It's a combination of all those things, and we attribute meaning to it.
Mhm.
So I'm I'm actually done with my painting. Now, if your palette doesn't look a mess like this, then you haven't been painting. And one thing that I like to do is like, I like to take the remaining paint and just make like another painting with it. Because I just like using up all the colors.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to do that really quickly as I let this painting go. And then, like, you know, when you're done with your paintings, make sure you hang them up, make sure you frame them, make sure they're in a prominent place where you could look at it and be proud of it.
Mhm. The camera's off.
Yes, I turned it off. I want to go get my other painting apparatus. Start video. My new painting apparatus.
Oh, I didn't realize the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm coming.
See, you get so into it.
It's becoming something.
Okay.
So as everyone continues to paint, I just want to thank everyone for joining us for another STROLO U class. I hope everybody enjoyed this relaxing painting session with Jennifer McDaniel. We'd like to thank you, Jenny, for helping us create our beautiful spring paintings. So I would like everyone to put up their photos. I'm gonna put us in gallery mode. Awesome.
Good job, everyone.
Thank you. It's been so relaxing. I'll probably paint again today because of you.
Hey, that's the goal.
All right, so thank you, everyone. Join us again for another STROLO U class. We have a class tomorrow at 12, and that's going to be cardio with Heather. So join us. Sign up at cflf.org/STROLOU. And thank you again, Jennifer, and thank you to our sponsors, Nestle Health Science, Chiesi, and Beatrice. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Bye. All right, it is officially off, and I will stop recording.
Sorry, guys.
I'm
I